I pack my suitcase, headed out the door, I keep my shoes laced. 2,000 miles away from home, a couple dollars in my pocket, never stopped the boy before. I load my bags and hit the road.
Miles past, turning back, found my track, face the fact she a cold one. Never gonna settle for none, stay up every night till I won. Don't want a slow rise now, I'm confident opulence isn't a long ride out. When I look back now, I'm astounded. A quiet boy from old age, but always thought the world was a stage, yeah. I celebrate one last late night, my whole life, they stay.
I pack my suitcase, headed out the door, I keep my shoes laced. 2,000 miles away from home, a couple dollars in my pocket, never stopped the boy before. I load my bags and hit the road.
I'm headed to LA.
Miles, throw it on the dash. Shit, the 10,000 hours, can't let them pass. Yeah, well, I was putting time in, you was pulled up wildin'. You always had shit to say, now when I see you, it's silence. Thought I'd have a Grammy by 25. Commas after commas next to dollar sign, yeah. To remind myself why I'm living this life. Look at all the late nights, it'll all come in due time, yeah.
Made for the fight, for the pain and the climb, tied to the life I chose. Stay through the night, another day, not a dime. Race against time. I couldn't just lay by and wonder what I could have made mine. I'm closing on the moment, no one's gonna hold me down.
I pack my suitcase, headed out the door, I keep my shoes laced. 2,000 miles away from home, a couple dollars in my pocket, never stopped the boy before. I load my bags and hit the road.
actions behind. In the meantime, I'll blindfold my pride and keep hold of my time like it's gold. Fading from color, reaching to find when I wonder how. Saying we're all fine, why should I waste the time? Fading from color, stuck in the backseat and told to drive.
We're not the only ones. 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 Days gone. I won't waste another one. Oh, that darkness. It won't set me back again. Oh, I'm not asleep or awake. I won't let the future escape. Take me back to you.
If you wanna be my love, baby, gotta take it slow. If you wanna be my love, I'll show you what you wanna know.
Hello guys, welcome back on in. It is day number 2 of the ESL Challenger League Season 49 Oceania season. Pilski here with me today, and me, obviously Elfish Guy, finally managed to make it today. I don't know if you caught up with that yesterday, Pilski. I had a lot of issues, but
What happened?
today's the day.
Tell us what happened. Tell us a yarn.
VMix just said, you're not allowed to work today, and indeed I did not work. So Mac had
Who
to
was on
cast
with you?
all of...
Mac.
He had to cast all of OCE on his own.
Did he get your day rate as well? Surely he got paid double time.
I don't know if he even gets paid, to be quite honest with you, but
yeah,
he's probably not worth it, in my opinion. But look, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this one. We've got Vantage, we've got Underground. Obviously, as I said, it's day 2 of Oceania. So, look, there's not a whole lot of history necessarily to look at when it comes to these teams because there's been a lot of changes, Pilski. Almost all the teams have made a change in some way, shape, or form. I think the only exceptions really being Mind Freak and, I guess, Talon, if you can make that argument, although they are a new addition. But having a look at the results from yesterday does give us a bit of an indication of how things are starting to shape up here in this season of ESL Challenger League.
Yeah, seeing a couple of fresh faces as well. Justice for Tomorrow. They're an org that's been kicking around some other different titles like your Fortnite, your cartoon shooter, fake version of Counter-Strike, some might say. So good to see that they're in the scene here. And I'm glad that you said we're getting into the meat and potatoes because ESL Challenger League for me is the bread and butter of Oceanic Counter-Strike now that the national leagues have wound up. It's a fantastic testing ground for a lot of these teams to not only get themselves a lot of reps against some of the domestic local competition, but also to get themselves a juicy spot over at ESL Pro League and play against some of the best in the world.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a really, really important point. The ESL Pro League spot is definitely on offer with no FlyQuest in the picture. You're looking at probably the likes of, I would say, Talon, Rooster, maybe Mind Freak on a bit of an outside chance there as the teams that will kind of be gunning for that slot. House Bets did bring PZ Bat as well, so maybe something to be said for them as well. But we'll catch up with them a little bit later on in the season. For now, it's all about Underground and Vantage, and we should touch on our player to watch, which for tonight will be Night Raid. Now, there wasn't, let's just say there wasn't a huge amount of options because there is supposed to be 3 months worth of stats, and I looked at all the players and I was like, who's played in the last 3 months? Pretty much nobody. Obviously, Underground played 2 matches last night. They played 2 BO1s last night, so we had to choose someone from Underground. And Night Raid was the best performer last night, which honestly, I have to say is not a huge surprise because this guy's been kicking around, doing some pretty good things within, I would say, that tier 2 Oceania space for quite a while now.
Yeah, I'm surprised they put the Source as HLTV. If you ask me if Night Raid's going to pop off, I could go Source, trust me, bro. He will probably have a good game or two. He's just a little inconsistent sometimes, high ceiling, but very low floor and can be a little bit up and down. So let's have a little bit of a look at the veto for this match, although it's not really going to tell us too much as these are fresher names coming into a new season, so we're not really sure who's going to be good at what. Train's back in the pool as well. Did you get any train yesterday?
Not to my knowledge. I can't. No, it was Dust 2 Nuke. It was Dust 2 Nuke because we were watching Rooster Minding. I say we in the loosest of terms because I wasn't actually there. I was really trying to troubleshoot some of my issues. But yeah, Dust 2 Nuke for that Series 10 Rooster and Mindfreak yesterday, which did go 2-0. Just to touch on Underground, I guess, is probably a relevant point here. They played against Justice for tomorrow, which is one of the new additions to this season. They came through from ESCA Open season number 50. You got a few I would say notable names in there. Dicey, Elf Milk, we've seen around a little bit. So they're a bit of a newer roster, I guess, coming through to this season of ESL Challenger League. Underground, obviously going through, some changes of their own and jumping in from last season. But they went 1-1. It was a 13-11 win for Underground and then a 13-10 loss. So very, very close scoreline for Underground. I think in this early stage of the season, particularly because we're at the start of the year, Pilsky, like it's kind of, like you say, very hard to really get a great understanding of where teams are at the moment because there's been sweeping changes to the vast majority of teams. And even were that not the case, probably people are coming off of quite a long break. There hasn't really been a lot of Counter-Strike in Oceania. In fact, I think as far as I am aware, these matches that we saw yesterday were the first officials of the season for ANZ. So, there's not a whole lot necessarily going on. So really, yeah, very difficult to kind of get a real read on where things are at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's always a period of parity once we come in off the off season, see who's made what changes and who's looking strong, who's been putting the practice in, things like that. We had a little bit of a period of parity really at the end of last year where it felt like a lot of teams were trading places. Some of the tried and tested, true names that we're used to coming through and performing every now and again or consistently did kind of fall by the wayside a little bit, and a lot of teams were getting upset, and we even saw some teams that we hadn't seen before pretty close to qualifying for international events. I mean, I remember Art of War or even Mindfreak being very, very close to qualifying to international events, which if you told me that in the earlier parts of the year or the previous year, I would have laughed at you a little bit. So I'm wondering if things are going to start to settle down a little bit or whether we're going to continue through this era of parity and we're going to get to see some of these up-and-coming players actually make a name for themselves and establish themselves as some of the better players in Australia, especially now that we don't have the sleeper one-team competitions that we would often have where FlyQuest would just win everything because they've already become good enough to qualify for many things and don't have to play these kind of domestic events anymore.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing, there'll be, I think, two sort of distinct packs when it comes to ESL Challenger League this season, in my opinion. I think there'll be obviously the top of the pack, which is going to be jostling for that ESL Pro League position. And that'll be the likes of Talon, who we haven't really seen play too much domestically. And as far as I know, they're pushing a lot of their games back. So we won't really get to see them at the start of this season. But they'll probably be like your Talon, your Rooster, maybe your Mindfreak, maybe your House Bets kind of in that conversation for a top spot. And then I'm interested as well to sort of see the middle of the pack, what the rebuild looks like for Vantage, for KZG as well, how Art of War is going to be going into this year as well. And then Mantra, I mean, maybe an interesting roster there as well with the addition of Skull coming in. I think that could be potentially quite cool. So those will be, I think, the teams to kind of keep an eye on. But regardless, tonight, it's all about Vantage and Underground, and we will get to have, again, a look at this new look Vantage, who, as of yet, have not played a game in ESL Challenger League this season. So this is their first for the season. And I like the names that they've got here on paper, but I'm not liking the start to the game. Mingobi getting the head off of one already. That's Omichella. And Mechanical also falling. So this is already, not a bad start at all for Vantage.
I mean, kind of rock, paper, scissors there at the end of the day, because Underground going for this hut control into taking long, smoke to elevator, nice open plant for Plat, wanting to play that after plant there. Losing a pick through the smoke and the dry walk up middle, straight up the guts from Underground, from Vantage rather. Very early on, puts them in a fantastic position with the double flank. So not really much you could have done as Underground. Unfortunately, they did get the plant down though, so we'll see if they do buy round 2. Seeing a lot of familiar names who we did get from Challengers past. Drox and Super on the same team are some pretty solid up-and-comers. We've got Jinx as well. Jinx and Jinxie on the same team. Don't know if I've seen Jinxie, but I've seen Jinx for sure. Mingovi's been doing some IGLing and things like that. Underground not going for the round 2 force though, just going to buy up some pistols, try and do some economic damage off the back of that bomb plan and keep things rolling, but Drox is in bully mode with the A1S up on Catwalk.
Which is exactly what you want to be doing in a round like this one. Just make sure you're getting it locked in nice and clean. It does seem like Vantage might have been in some way, shape or form expecting that force buy, but not going to be getting it. Went into the 3 rifles, and so really what we're looking for here is 3 rifles taken through. Obviously, any kills on SMGs or SMGs taken through will be of benefit, but that's nice and clean from Mingovi, not having too many issues at all. The remaining 2 players spotted out in middle, and everyone's going to survive. So for Vantage, great start to the game. 5 guns alive in round number 2, but Underground did take that save, so they're going to have a really good buy here to start things off in round 3.
Yeah, pretty big util advantage on the CT side right now, which will do them a lot of favors on Dust too, at least the way that it used to play. So Ts are going to have to either go down to Galil's or be a little bit more picky about where they want to invest their util early on. Looking like an Xbox smoke already being prepped here by Night Raid. And Underground with a decent spawn for long. We'll see if they take advantage, really committing a lot of players to holding long. Underground recognizing that he didn't quite have the spawn that they wanted to take, but they are actually going to go for a late take. Flash is flying up over the top, and Drox forced it back here. Does seem like Jinxie wants to stick around and fight, but that might not be a great idea. They're just peeking into 3 or 4 rifles, and they've been punished heavily for that.
Yeah, I mean, a 3rd player there actually would have made a really big difference. Mingovi, though, was worried about short instead of committing to the long fight alongside the rest of his teammates. So he's going to drop that smoke to stop the progression from Underground and just sort of sit behind it. Inevitably, nothing doing really from Underground.
I mean, that's not really going to change too much, though. They still have a player advantage. Coops is doing a good job holding on to control of the middle of the map. Jinx hasn't made any aggressive pushes. I think a lot of the time when you see this long control early on and fight over long, especially if you're in a man disadvantage situation, you want to see the CTs go aggressive somewhere. I feel like in a lot of the higher tier games, we'd see an upper dark push or something like that here. I don't mind the fact that Super's kind of probing for a pick on Cat. You definitely need to get something going.
Yep. You know, ideally want it to come from one of these 2 rifles, though Coops' position is a little bit too strong, and so he'll win himself an easy aim duel. Super just kind of getting the short end of the stick there in terms of the scissors, paper, rock battle. Yeah. This is almost now safe territory for Vantage, particularly if they could recover one of those rifles. I think they're both over towards the A site, though, so more than likely just going to be looking for even an AK. Is there an AK here on short? Or the rifle here?
Maybe Galil?
I think the M4... It got juggled back. Yeah, the Galil got juggled back a little bit, but not too far.
Yeah, Coops went for the upgrade there, so... Look, Galil's better than nothing, saving onto those 2 rifles, but I think the mid-rounding was a lot better for Underground there. I don't like the fight on long that Vantage took. Definitely didn't go well for them. Maybe the flashes not giving them enough. If they had flashed above them or not, I wasn't sure, but... you know, usually when you want to reaggress for that long fight, right, you want to be aided by utility. You want to create some favorable chances for yourself to win duels, and it didn't really feel like any of those Underground players were really bothered too much by util, right? It was just 2 CTs kind of peeking into 3 or 4 T rifles who had already established that long control, and it didn't really feel like there was a clear call from Vantage about whether the protocol there was to fight long in the early to mid round there, or whether it was to fall back and try to jostle for short control or something like that. So that indecision ends up going poorly for them, and Underground slowing things down. Then mid-round got a lot more out of the mid-round than Vantage did, who didn't really do anything, right? Just the upper dark B player sat where he was for pretty much the whole round, and Super just waiting on Cat ends up getting picked. This round, though, long control taken by Vantage, and Underground will respect that. They've got the doors smoked down, and it looks like they're looking for control of middle, and they're just going to respect that long control for now.
Yeah, now we'll get to see what the CT round was supposed to look like for Vantage, because, I mean, in an ideal world, this is how things would have gone last round as well. Just going to drop Jinxie off outside the bedroom doors. That's fine. He's got a molly. He's got an MP9. That's fair enough. rotate that extra player of Drox back up to short to try to bolster the defenses over there. It seems at the moment, though, that Underground are more than happy. Again, like you said, just to kind of weight things down. Similar approach to the last round.
Yeah. Mid to B smoke for pressure, forces the drop there from Drox, so less players committed to Cat. See Raleigh just sitting around long, playing that anchor position. There's the short take rather, Molly up top with the flash to give Underground control of short, but with 50 seconds on the clock, they've got to make a decision. CT utility is starting to fall by the wayside a little bit. Molly out onto the close position and flash over the top does flush out Jinxie. He's going to return his own Molotov and keep himself safe, and Vantage wants to secure that long control. They're continuing to delay at short, but it looks like Underground are actually going to change up what they want to do and maybe go mid to B here.
It's not a bad call, though, from Vantage. Like, they've done a pretty good job of holding on to long, but what are they going to do with it? Early information, surely, now that this is going to be towards that B site. Mid to B smoke goes down. Jinx ready for the fight. He'll get himself one, and Mingobi another. So already not a bad start. Super locking it down very nicely on the B side. And it seems like Vantage should win this round, but with 9 seconds left, maybe a chance for Riley. 2 quick shots. Needs to find one more, and Super hiding behind the box. Has not quite been found in time, but was eventually. That was very nearly a nice clutch from Raleigh. Still, 3-1 is the scoreline for Vantage.
With only one player surviving in the server, though, both teams very bankrupt at this point. So round 5 going to be a very important swing round. Util's a lot better on the T side. So look, he doesn't win the round, but he does a lot of damage to that CT economy. Takes a lot of util out of their hands and makes this round very winnable for Underground. They've got a B spawn as well. Wouldn't mind the B rush call given how low the CT money is, right? Like you do have a molly on Jinx, but outside of that, not too much. But you can see the double lower dark push here. New Dust 2 does provide a lot of opportunities for CT aggression. And look at that, 1 minute 40. No smoke at the back of bedroom. It's a smoke backside of tunnels. What a spray or a nade. I didn't see what that was from Jinxie. As Underground came out long, they took a lot of damage.
I think it was
surely
just
Vantage don't fight this.
I'm pretty sure it was just him shooting, because there was a lot of flashes getting layered over the top there from Underground. I reckon he was just maybe blind spraying from the corner.
Yeah, I mean, got a lot of value out of that MP9 if that's the case. This is an interesting game state. You would not see this on old Dust 2 at all. Lower dark control was something that was a little bit less common, and even you've got super kind of probing upper dark, so this is really going to force Underground to be put through their paces trying to re-clear middle. It's taking a lot of utility, and they're getting a lot returned back in their face.
In saying that, though, Vantage running short on that util, but Drox getting the opening kill and will get out, at least for the moment, alive, although that may still come into question as he crosses the sightline of Omichella. Mingobi's going to push him through the mid doors. I don't know how he gets 2 there, but he does. And it's falling apart for Underground. Super waiting for Omichella. And that is looking like a very nicely executed round in the end for Vantage. I mean, they got so much work done with all of that util at the start of the round, the chip damage, and it snowballed from there.
Yeah, that's a missed opportunity for the reset for Underground. Coming back and re-clearing middle after you lost lower dark like that, that's so tough, man. Like, the crossfire between Cat, lower dark, and mid doors is absolutely brutal. To try and recontest as a T side, I just don't really know how you tackle that. Do you have to go back and retake upper dark? Do you have to smoke one of the sides off, like smoke off lowers or something like that, and scale up Cat? I'm not really sure what the answer to that is this day. Double Molly's going to shut Underground out of bedroom once again. Long control in the favor of Vantage, and Underground no util at all this round. Just going to whip out the pistols and try to get something done.
Yeah, full stack into middle. Only one player with armor. That's Omichella. Mechanical and Coops already having gone down. Looking like a pretty easy day at the office so far for Vantage. A little bit of a hiccup in that one round, but aside from that, they've definitely looked like the more switched on team. And for the most part, I feel, Pilsky, it's getting easier and easier as we're going on.
Yeah, the Underground really missed that reset window in, what was it, round number 5. And since then, it's kind of felt quite easy for Vantage. 4 alive in the previous gun round, and then anti-eco, that went very nicely. And you can see just how much money that's given them access to now. So Underground starting to get onto struggle streak. Going to take a couple of gun rounds in a row to start pressuring this CT economy. Omichella, a player that we've touted for a while as being a big up-and-comer, actually got himself a spot in one of the top teams at the end of last year. Was doing pretty decently for himself, but not having the best game here.
Yeah, makes way for PZ back in house bets. But either way, another opening duel going to go the way of Vantage. Coops on the floor again. Long control established for the CT side.
Yeah, I mean, this Vantage team is kind of sleeper. Like,
They're quite good.
Jinx is doing not too bad with the I can't remember the Fortnite mixers team, and then having Drox and Super on the same team is kind of like, these are two riflers that they've had great stats in ECL kind of competitions.
It's a nice roster that's been put together, and hopefully the fruits of that labor are being witnessed right now, and it's going to be a consistent kind of a thing, because if this is the level that we get from them, again, I probably would still have them in that middle pack more so than pushing the top of the pack, just on a paper basis. But
if things really click, they could be like, just below that.
Super has been super solid today. Now he's over towards the A site instead of the B site. His toes are getting tickled a little bit by that molly, but no one has cleared Goose. And now you look like a Goose.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a nice setup. Vantage have the personnel. They've never really been pushed off that long control. Like, what Underground really need at this point, I think, is a late long take that works for them, where they can pressure short first and then go back and re-clear long, something like that, or maybe mid to B pressure, drag the rotate across, and then isolate that long lurker. Might work out a little bit better for them. I mean, Govi's having a great game too. I mean, he's someone that I think people are more so discussed as like someone that's been doing IGLing on the lower level teams for a while. But he's just quietly kind of having a decent game fragging wise as well.
Yeah, I mean, you want to be seeing the changes in approach or the adaptations from Underground, but I think they're kind of running out of time to really even display much of that. Not too many rounds left in this half, and as you can see, they're once again down to pistol and armor, so it doesn't really give you a huge amount of options. They do have 2 smokes, a few flashes. It might just be a bust out middle regression smoke. But where are they going to go with this? I mean, you go into CT spawn here and you're kind of doomed.
CT for sure. I don't know why they're trying to take this duel. Yeah, even with a messy spray like that, they barely do anything to Mingovi, and now we're just running dry through a long smoke. That is pretty questionable. I mean, Coops literally has the smoke from the cross sitting right on his belt. I know they can nade open the smoke nowadays, but should at least give it a crack and try to go mid to B, right?
Well, I mean, that would be my thinking as well. I guess they're just trying to hope that they can win a duel, like do something a little bit unorthodox, maybe trade that rifling player in CT spawn down, but unable to do so. And frankly, it's felt like they've been unable to really make any inroads in the majority of these aim duels. Like, I mean, just you can just look at the numbers, right? 9-3, 9-2, 11-3. Like, that tells a story of its own. On the other side of the field, someone else has to be, kind of eating it, and it's Omichella 0-8, Coops is 2-7, Night Raid's 2-7. Night Raid's our player to watch. We haven't really been watching much of him because he's been dead most of the time, and now he's got the AWP in hand, so hopefully this will be where he's actually able to do some work, because obviously that is his favorite weapon.
Yeah.
And they need something to get them back in this half.
It's a 1-3-1. Not something you would have seen too much on Old Dust 2, but like we said, CT aggression can work out well for you. Little tower boost with a lower dark player off the back of that contact. Underground creeping into middle now.
Super. Again, set up for success, and he's just too sharp. They're just better tonight. That's really where I feel a lot of the difference is being made. I mean, Vantage, are they not just shooting so much cleaner?
Yeah, they have. I mean, these players are usually shooting pretty good, man. Like we've mentioned it a couple times, but Drox and Super are kind of some sleeper picks in ECL. Like if you're like a fantasy enjoyer or something, and you're like, I reckon this guy is going to get me some numbers, but he doesn't cost much. Those are the kind of players you'd pick.
Well, this is starting to get a little bit awkward for Vantage. There was just a little bit of a roadblock, kind of traffic jam type situation on short there, and it resulted in a couple of players now having gone down. Jinx is in an interesting position here, to be fair. He might actually be able to catch Mechanical on a timing. Well, Mechanical's now seen him. That molly will deny any possibility of that, and they're not going to be enough.
I think Mechanical is going to know for sure that the B anchor is still alive. Unless he's getting Jinx and Jinxing confused. Does go down, but his job's kind of done. They've now established themselves in this 2-on-2 and post plant.
Oh! Whoa! Okay. Riley has gone down, and Night Raid's position is to be expected on short. They've spotted him out. Second player jumps up the boxes, up trash, and won't quite be able to land his shots. This is still a tough round to win for Jinxie with only a flash available. He's just got to try and swing and win that duel. Flash is great, but if you sit the defuse against an AWP on this line, you are not going to win this round, unfortunately, Jinxie. I think had to go for the swing there. In the end, Night Raid's just going to back away, and Underground will win, but that, honestly, in a couple of those cases, felt like maybe Vantage cooked that round a little bit more than Underground won it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't think that's a round that you can really replicate on the side of Underground at the end of the day. So, look, it's a round that they've scraped together. You're going to have to scrape as many rounds together as you can, to be honest, given the fact that Vantage's money's built up so much, right? Like, the CTs are never going to run out of money at this point. It's up to Underground to find the formula, solve the formula enough times to get themselves a respectable round count. This is the first time they've started so heavily towards Upper Dark, and it looks like Night Raid already lining himself up a smoke, so might be in for a B pop here.
Jinx has been waiting for this the entire half. It's his turn. It's his turn. It's his time. He gets to have some fun, finally. He gets himself 2, which is not a bad shout at all. Mingovi, unfortunately, not landing that shot. Is actually going to allow Underground into B. So we'll see Vantage tested once again. They've got some util here. Nades doing some chip damage, but more importantly, a couple of mollies still should be enough to help them out.
Creeping up for the retake here. They're waiting for that Upper Dark smoke to clear, so Drox can get a little bit of a line. Molly to Car could be huge.
Night Raid in a tough spot there. Especially having now lost a couple of his members, and it's too easy in the end for Vantage. That was really a nothing retake. I mean, a good flash over, obviously, but numbers prevailing. And 8 on the board now for Vantage.
Just folded him, mate. Looking like a pretty one-sided half at this point. Bomb Flag gives Underground plus the loss bonus at least enough to put something together if they want to, but they're opting to min-max the money instead. Hero rifle or 2, couple of techies and armor, Mac 10. You know, maybe try and do something a bit faster. They did get into a B side after plant, so quite honestly, I respect the decision to just give it a go again, right?
Run it back. Omni with the AK here. See if he can punch some numbers in. Nade. Going to be a good one to slow things down a little bit, but Jinx couldn't see much, and so he'll drop pretty early. So the cross into the site has not happened for Underground, and Coops is going to drop as he attempts to clear window. 4 on 4 for the retake this time, but with Mechanical and Raleigh being quite low, you have to imagine that Vantage are going to get this one done nice and clean once again. Mingovi, bit of a whip onto Mechanical. Shouldn't be a massive worry. He's quite low on HP. The retake has to happen. Flash over the top. Super. Queen's run up. Nice on the entry, but Omicella with that AK. We talked about it. Had to be the difference maker in this round, and so far has been. Mingovi will not have time to win it anymore. 3 quick kills out of that AK. And all of a sudden, Underground are starting to get rolling.
Yeah, I mean, that's the star power that Omicella can put together when he's feeling himself. He's had a real quiet game. Especially for a game of this level, like, this is the kind of game you should be farming a little bit, but yeah. Able to at least get Underground 1 round together. See if they can make it 4 after a pretty rough half where it feels like not a lot has gone right for them. I like the decision, though, especially given their weaponry and what they were working with to try to run it back into B. Nice layer of flashes over onto gate side just created enough of an issue for Jinx to roll him over with the Mac 10 and a couple of Tech 9s, and then B is one of those notoriously difficult sites to retake in CS for the longest time on Dust 2.
Yep.
Underground changing up their approach this time, though, going for a 3-1-1. Pressure on Upper Dark, maybe looking for a B pick here with Night Raid's AWP. And if that doesn't go well for them, then they can still work towards mid and maybe try to go for some cap control or go for a little bit of a lurk play out of long out rather. They've got a lot of options open to them still. So didn't get the pick they were looking for. So now we have to see what their plan B is going to be here.
Bit of a probe at those mid doors, but nothing coming from it. Jinxie on a cheeky little line. He's going to get that bink onto Raleigh. And expecting some more assistance. He's sticking around. 1 bullet remaining. Has to get that reload off. That could have been awkward, but he's really backing himself, and why not? Hitting the shots. Mechanical will drop. Nice reply, though, from Raleigh. 5 HP gets the job done. Overall, still not too bad for Vantage, but a win for Underground as they take long and maintain the numbers.
Yeah, Kuts has got to activate a little bit here in mid. Maybe try to create a little bit of pressure because it's a bit one-dimensional from Underground right now. 30 seconds. They've got to get moving, and it really doesn't feel like they're doing much of anything right now.
Yep, you're going to be blocked by a smoke as well. Not necessarily blocked. Obviously, you can go through it. Molly fizzles a car as well. That is not good news at all because that's going to allow Drox to do exactly that. A little bit of a mis-execution from Underground, maybe breaking under the pressure there. And that'll be 9-3 at the end of the half. A very, very solid one for Vantage. Things are looking good.
We're not the only ones. 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 We're not the only ones.
Days gone, I won't waste another one. Oh, that darkness, it won't set me back again. Oh, I'm not asleep or awake. I won't let the future escape. Take me back to you.
We're not the only ones. 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 We're not the only. We're not the only ones. We're not the only ones.
Heads down, they will watch us shake the ground. Oh, this lightness, it will fill the air around. Oh, I'm not asleep or awake. I won't let the future escape.
Back to you.
So, second half, ready to get underway, and I think Underground would probably prefer it didn't, because they're down 9-3. Going to have to crack on into things. Pissed around, all important on this CT side.
Yep, going to have to get themselves off to a much better start. Had a pretty slow start to this game so far, Underground. 3 players are ready here on B, though, and that does seem like the side of choice for Vantage. See if this crossfire between Plat and Car is going to do them any favors. Looks like Mechanical may flash in
Yeah,
front
it's
of
not a
Heaton
bad
when the
setup.
T's come in as well.
Three players on the site is about as good as you're going to ask for as Underground for this B play. It's all smoke. Bit of tapping there from Coops. Nothing really too substantial connecting, but now the headshots
so blind.
starting to filter through, and they have no idea that Mechanical is at car. Finally, they've figured it out. The cross comes through, and here comes the attempt at the refrags. They are looking good. Vantage get a couple of kills courtesy of Jinx and Super. Bomb plant down, and round 1 for Vantage. 10-3. It was a good start for Underground, but they ran out of steam.
There's no one's hitting any shots, mate. Like, you can't get a much better setup on B than that. Like, the Plat player took about 8 shots, didn't kill anyone. They had double flashes to Heaton and a 3-way crossfire as they came out tunnels, and they still couldn't clean up that B hit. I mean, if you're not getting that round, then it's probably time to go next. Upper dark push.
Got another crack here.
Spotted.
Big nade.
Oh, it's got off
Molly
his head.
in onto the stairs. I don't even know what's going on. It's an absolute mess, but it looks like Vantage are coming away with the advantage. Just got no idea where Night Raid is, and they're a little bit terrified that there could be another player here in Upper Dark, which they will be proven correct in.
Yeah, they got good spacing. They got the numbers. Low players going first. It's good protocols. Oh, the dinks coming out from Night Raid. That's unreal that he's won that. That should have been a trade from Vantage every day of the week.
I'm not going to lie. I've looked away. I thought that round was over, and I've looked back, and there's 3 CT kills.
I mean, the first kill was a low player insta-dink. The second kill was really nice, like multiple dinks in a row. Good control of the MP9, good crosshair placement. The third should have been a trade from the T. I think that was a bit of a whiffage. And just, you know, decent shot from Night Raid. Should have been the round for Vantage, and they're going to try to run it back to B here with a force bite.
Third time's the charm. Anyone playing Firefighter? Doesn't look like it. We're just going to go straight on through Advantage. Get the opener. Super. He's been so damn good. But they still need to find Mechanical, and they got to do it quickly. They will drop him. He's got himself 2, so it'll be a 3-on-3 for the post plant. Never mind. A grenade catches Jinx. So he tries to get that bomb on the floor. So now it's down to 2, and the flank coming through from Mingobi. They've sussed that one out, which leaves the Drox alone, and he's dealt with. Underground begin their campaign on the CT side.
Getting going sooner rather than later. Courtesy of a big play from Night Raid. That's not what we had in mind when we picked him as our player to watch. We were more so thinking of the AWP flicks and, you know, the flashy plays this man can deliver sometimes. Not really of an MP9 1v3 clutch, but you'll take what you can get as Underground right now, given the start that they've had into this game. It's going to be a great chance for them to start to build up that CT money on this anti-eco, and look at 6-10 with a decent economy behind you. This game becomes pretty winnable. They just need to lock in, bro. You know, that's your favorite saying.
They do. Lock in, bro. Lock in. Ooh. Omi. Woo. He's locked in.
He's turned his monitor on for the ecos.
Yeah.
And I respect it, honestly.
That's KD's looking a bit better. It used to be 0-8.
Yeah. Four ecos, and all of a sudden you're one of the best players in the server. Easy.
All right, let's see what Vantage can do about this. Would be a little bit disappointed to see them let this kind of bleed out in the way that it has felt like it started to. Can this T side look as good as the CT side did?
Big long contest. Molly's exchange, flash up over the top. Underground, I mean, they're happy with that. Straight through the smoke, and they're happy to just leave it. Just get out of dodge. Chill with the numbers advantage. Going to smoke off long for now. Leave good old Omicella at car and reaggress over on Catwalk. This round has started fantastic for them. This really could be the start of a pretty nice comeback on the CT side here.
Ooh, another Molly that fizzles at car.
Yeah.
So
they're hard
go
checking
back
in,
into the server and crack that one, but is it enough to get into the site itself? 3-on-4. Need to hit some nice entries here. Super might be the man. He's 18-7 on that entry roll right now. Having a look for it, but nobody giving him anything.
Oh, the nades. Just an artillery harassing the T's as they try to get this plant down. A molly onto default. Flushes Jinx back. He's stuck in Goose. No one's checked Gandalf. Night Raid's still undiscovered. And the flash up over the top reveals his position. And the rest of Underground not even needed to close in because Night Raid's got it covered. Another really nice CT gun round. Loss bonus starting to build up on the T side here. So Vantage may consider the buys or... Honestly, given that there was 3 players surviving and the money's still so good, a half buy wouldn't be out of the realms of possibility. Maybe mix a couple of rifles in there. But look, it's an ECL game at the end of the day, Jordan. Things can turn around when you least expect it. And it really feels like Underground are vibing with the CT side right now.
I wonder if that tilt is starting to set in a little bit for Vantage. They'd be thinking this should have been wrapped up by now. VRS points on the line. Now Pilski. This is a ranked event. There's no more irrelevant matches in the world of Counter-Strike anymore. Even if it's quote-unquote a dead rubber. So you get those VRS points, and that can be a big difference maker later on down the track. Jinx gets the trade onto Armichella, but Mechanical and Night Raid are there to clean it up through middle. So another easy round for Underground.
Feels like a tale of 2 CT sides right now.
Definitely.
But look, this is where Vantage finally get a good buy together. They can get an AWP if they want one. They can get full util. Rifles on all these players. No more excuses. Time to crack on into the game. Going to take a lot of gun rounds consecutively to start to pressure this CT money, though. Poorest player on Underground has got 5 grand, so they are max chilling. Govi looking for a pick towards long. Not quite found the timing there. And Underground will secure control of long for now. Vantage have already thrown the util towards mid doors. Molly up to Cat. Flash up over the top. And now the AWP's going to be moved back over to Catwalk.
Well, the good news for Vantage is they haven't lost a player early in the round, which has been a bit of a problem for them.
Yeah. Very self-sufficiently. Mingovi's got himself Catwalk control as well. Mid to B smoke to apply a little bit of pressure. But Omicella not too worried about that. There's the lurk smoke out tunnel. So a lot of pressure on middle and B right now. And that smoke isn't really doing anything. Drox has already made it to stairs. Night Raid might go down if he's not ready for a flash up over the top. Oh, beautiful. Mingovi's gone down in the meanwhile, though. So bomb dropped on Cat for now.
Super seems to have a real suspicion that Omichella's somewhere around the doors. He's trying his best to clear it out. Wasn't prepared for Mechanical. And Omichella gets Jinxie as well. So we are back to a 3-on-2. They need to recover the bomb. Jinx doesn't want to overpeak this. He's kind of waiting for Drox, which actually might have been his undoing in the end there. Now a little bit too little for Drox to do a 1v3. I guess it's not impossible. We've already seen it this half, but it won't be happening this time. 10-9. And that scoreline grows ever closer.
It does. Really feels like it's Underground's game at this point. Vantage has just not shown us anything too much on the T side so far. Although, I could see the macro coming together in that round. They worked cat control, applied pressure pretty well. It really just fell apart in the mid round with Omichella starting to actually play the game to the standard that we know that he can play it, He really did not do anything on the early stages of the T side, but considering he was 0-8 or 0-9 and now he's 16-15, that really just kind of tells you that this man has gotten active and started to lock in a little bit. Night Raid's doing well as well. I mean, these are some of the guys that have been farming the lower levels of the national events for quite some time. So this is their comfort zone, really. Attack timeouts coming for Vantage, though. They've got a bit of a B spawn. Let's see what they've come up with.
Definitely feeling like a bit of a fumble at the moment from Vantage. But it's not done just yet. Underground working their way back into this, but really all it takes is a couple of quick rounds on this T side, and Vantage are thinking, you know what, it wasn't so bad after all. And they have, to be fair, been close in 1 or 2 of the rounds. This is definitely leaving a bit to be desired. Few Galils, couple of AAKs. Util already running pretty low. We've only got 1 flash left for Vantage, and that is going to be used to allow them to push out mid and have a bit of a look. Super not seeing anything. So really running the tap dry. This is going to have to just be some kind of contact play somewhere.
Mid to B. Util, progression molly deep on, only onto the cat stairs. I think that's been misthrown. A lot of miss mollies so far in this game. There's the progression smoke out upper dark. So look, Vantage from what I'm seeing, feel like things fell apart in the mid to late round, right? Which is kind of true. They did establish good minimum control. My big issue right now is they just don't have much util left. Does seem like they're going to throw a B doors smoke, but from there they've got what, a smoke and a nade to get through the rest of this round, and there's still so much util left on the CT side. As they hit some good shots, this is probably not looking good for them.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing the way out for Vantage, am I? Mid to B smoke has been thrown. Bombs on its way back through lower dark. Yeah, this doesn't seem like it's going to end well at all. Omichella does end up going only 1 for 1, but still, you've got to get past the 2 members on that B bomb site. The rotation's coming through as well, and Coops at the back side. He only gets himself 1 mechanical drop. No way. This is the round?
I mean, they needed to hit shots. They hit shots, bro. You know, that they double walk through an upper dark smoke, and it's kind of working.
Raleigh's at least got them boxed into the site. There's a molly in his hands, but he has to win the duel. It's not about the util at this point anymore. This round has never been about the util. It's all about the fights. Night Raid gets his reload off. He's got the flash up in the sky, and now looking for Drox, won't get the kill. And that, of course, means the round will go the way of Vantage. And I can't believe that is the round of all the rounds that they're able to put over the line.
Yeah, they spent all their time and util resources on, you know, taking that mid control, and then just didn't really have a clear game plan in the mid to late round. It's almost like they just ran their default and didn't have any ideas following that. And they just had some good individual shots coming out, some decent spacing. Sometimes that's all you need to close out a round like that. So end of the day, got to give credit where credit's due. It is online CS. If you hit your shots, you're going to win some rounds. But for Vantage, they're going to need to come up with a little bit more than that, especially now that they've reduced their loss bonus. Especially if they don't get a bomb plant down, it's going to be a little harder for them to put a buy together. And as we mentioned, Underground's money is so healthy that they can continue to buy, you know. Raleigh and Mechanical starting to get a little broker, but I think they should still have a buy once more, even if they drop this round. So another tack timeout has come through. This game very, very close, which is unsurprising for 2 teams of this level. Night Raid's going to aggress into lowers.
He's been seen. Yeah, 100%. Govi's playing a dangerous game, though. He's got Super there to help him out. I guess they just want to try and trade this one down, worst case scenario, but there's still a player up on long, and the push coming from upper dark as well. This is crazy. Mingovi can't get away with his life here, surely not. He does. Of course he does. Omichella now needs to find himself a double, which he will. This game has it all. Jinx in a 1v1. He's gone for an upgrade to an M4, but Raleigh right through the mid doors is going to hear this rotation and maybe catch up with him. No, he's given away his position. Unbelievable. Molly's going to stop him in his tracks. He wants to go through it. I don't even know what to make of this one.
This
It'll be a huge clutch, though, for Jinx if he gets it.
Yeah, cue the Benny Hill music. This is an absolute mess. Push back into upper darks there for Raleigh. Jinx, we'll see if he plays process of elimination here, and he actually is. This is beautiful play from him in the 1v1. Smoking off upper dark. He's cleared doors behind him, and that nade is going to tell him exactly where Raleigh is.
Well, smoke and a flash into it is going to give Raleigh some room, but not enough. I don't believe it. These last 2 rounds that Vantage have won have just been the most unorthodox rounds you've ever seen. But they're up to 12 now.
Look, in round 20, they cooked themselves in, but in that last round, that was Underground just running into them. Like, let's be honest. They were just running their mid-default. Underground decided it's time to go ham, run up cat, run through upper dark, you know, aggress down lower. Did a really good job jiggling and pressuring Night Raid. And it came together for him. So you've got to give credit for Vantage for defending the aggression. Push out of long here has to be respected by Raleigh, because look, the truth of the matter is, guys, he's got a deagle and armor, and that's it. Underground have taken cat control, and meanwhile, the big weapon that you really want getting involved in this round is the AWP. No one's picked Night Raid yet. I mean, if you get a deagle headshot at that range, then grats, but unfortunately, he's going to receive one rather than dish one out.
Might be the beginning of the end. It's been a good effort from Underground, but they just haven't given themselves enough leeway, enough room with that first half, getting only the 3 rounds on their T side. Vantage, though, we'll have to slide this one over the line, and they're doing a pretty good job of it. But Gobi lining a couple up, and Mechanical seems to have been sniffed out. He's really just going to leave Coops here, and he's good for 2. Of course he's good for 2. The game's not over yet. Don't worry about that, folks. Jinx and Jinxie, the double Js. You could honestly be forgiven for thinking they're the same person, but they're getting the kills. They're getting it done. Vantage I think they're gonna fall over the line, Pilsy. I think they will, but they're gonna get there. They have managed to finally get this one done. 13-9. That was a mammoth effort, really. But they do win.
What a game. Oh, that got crazy towards the end of it, but that's what we love about ECL. I mean, Vantage, really, really stellar, pretty one-sided first half, but bit of a run back there from Underground in their own CT side. Then we got some of the classy hero plays coming in from some of the Ts to get them across the line. And look, they're going to take their first best of 1, but, you know, going into the second game, especially if Underground get warm themselves up a little bit more, which it definitely looked like they were in that second half, then, you know, could definitely see something like a 1-1 come through. And looking at the Veto as well previously, it did come down to Train being the map they were playing Veto Chicken with, so we could get a cheeky game on Train if that Veto goes the same way for the second BO1.
Yeah. Look, a lot of things that probably need to be fixed up on both sides, I would say. We saw what was like 4, maybe 5 missed mollies, car short. Like, it wasn't even just one molly that was getting missed. It was like multiple different mollies. So maybe Dust2 not really in the wheelhouse. Again, like we said, maybe, you know, still early days in the season. So teams kind of slowly working their way in. Haven't really had a huge amount of time to practice. I don't know. These are just assumptions that I'm kind of coming up with. But yeah, I mean, some good, some bad, definitely. I think that's kind of what you're going to get from one of these matches in ESL Challenger League, but we can only hope it gets a little bit cleaner as things go on and get deeper into the year and into the season. Yeah,
for sure. So look, could be seeing a team that's looking to scrape its way into playoffs, or, you know, a team that might fall short. And these kind of games are the games that can kind of be make or break on that, as far as I'm concerned. So look, we'll see what the outcome of it's going to be. A 2-0 today for Vantage could definitely be a big difference maker down the road, but we'll see how the next BO1 does go right after we come back from this short break, so don't go too far.
Think you've seen it all? With Faceit Watch's Point of View Selector, you can experience the game from any pro's perspective. Use the multi-view feature and customize the stream with up to 4 angles. Control what points you see while earning rewards. Drops are activated and lucky winners will receive Faceit points. And if you ever miss a match, VODs are now available. Get instant access to demos with multiple POVs and commentary. Watch it, control it, Faceit.
We're not the only ones.
You feel like something new. You feel like something. You feel like something new. You feel like something. Don't just stop it. Doing what you do. When I lay back, holding on to you. Ooh, ooh, feel like something new. Yeah. Got my senses here on overload. All my body is for you to hold. Ooh, 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 feel like something new. Yeah. And I never thought that you got me wanting. Never thought that never thought that never thought that that I'd be saying you feel more like a dream. Yeah. You feel like something new. You feel like something. You feel like something new. You feel like something. I feel like I'm in another galaxy. Take my time in your eternity. Ooh, 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 feel like something new. Yeah. And I never thought that got me wanting. Never thought that never thought that never thought that that I'd be saying you feel more like a dream. Yeah. Feel like something. 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 Yeah. La 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 la. Yeah. Your life hits hard, but I hit right back. I never back down. I keep it on track. It's the same day.
Welcome back on in. It is season 49 of ESL Challenger League Oceania, and we are watching Vantage and Underground go head to head. It was a pretty close scoreline in that first map. It was a bit of an interesting one, a little back and forth, but 13-9, Vantage did get that dub over Underground, and now it's time to see what things are going to look like going into map 2.
Yeah, I think you saw a little bit of individual inconsistency from both teams, but look, there are a few players that stand out, and we can highlight two of them on Vantage, Drox and Super. I was saying, these guys are worth their weight in gold at this stage of the competition, and look, even against some better opposition, you can kind of trust these guys to put up some decent numbers for you. So in terms of ECL, these are some great riflers that we've got on the come up. We've had on the come up for a couple of seasons, and they always put up pretty good numbers. I think you could probably put either of these guys onto a better team, and to be honest, we have seen Super on some better teams than this one, and he's done all right for himself. So,
yep, yeah, definitely a good map from him, and if he can replicate that going into this next one, then I would say, I think generally speaking, Vantage did look like the better team to me, a little bit, it fell apart a bit. The second half was a little bit messy, but it did kind of feel like for the most part that should have been theirs for the majority of that matchup. So we'll give them the benefit of the doubt here as well, going into Ancient. I mean, it obviously is a map that you can kind of look at in a very similar way to Dust 2. You're going to be able to get away with the same kind of puggier style, and I think that'll suit both of these teams. Hopefully the util's going to be a little bit cleaner on this one. Obviously a bit of a talking point there on Dust 2, but going into Ancient, I can imagine it'll be another very similar game as to what we got there on Dust 2.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm a little bit sad that we haven't had the Vito chicken elapse once again and headed down to train, but I guess we'll keep playing the middle of the map pool. It is ECL at the end of the day. And look, that is a great thing for some of these up-and-coming teams that might not have as much of a tested map pool, at least for the regular stage while we're in the round robin. It can be a little bit easier for some of these teams to go down straight into the middle of the map pool and maybe get on an easier map, whereas the teams with a bit more tenure, a bit more practice may push you to something you're a little less comfortable on. So, look, not too surprised to see Dust 2 Ancient at all. It's probably kind of par for the course, to be honest.
Yeah, most definitely. I know we're going to be watching, I believe, Tyloo up against Nomads later on tonight. I don't know if that's a potential train angle. I can't really imagine that it will be, given the fact that Tyloo are going through all of their roster shuffles. I imagine they're going to be leaning again towards the likes of the Dust 2, the Ancients as well. And so I think we might be out of luck tonight, but we'll hold that off for a little while as we're ready to go into map 2 here between Underground and Vantage. And to start things off, Vantage, we have a bit of a util set there on Jinxie. So they're going to try and cook something. It's going to be into middle. Flash over the top. That was from Mingovi, in fact, but they haven't spotted too much out with it. Now starting to get the information as to where Omnichella is set up.
Going to be re-aggression into middle. It's going to be a nice re-clear timing from Omnichella that's going to allow them to be comfortable on this site, especially the molly. Now pushing Night Raid into the corner. They have a little bit of a bait set up and a 3-man crossfire. Rotation comes off of a Kooks picks up his position towards Red Room. But Vantage can no longer re-explore middle. Instead, they're just going to execute B.
Yeah, drops, leading that charge. This is an important fight as well at the bottom of ramp. That's not going to go the well of Vantage at all. However, Drox is going to be good for at least a couple. It might not be enough to really seal the deal. Honestly, wouldn't mind seeing Vantage just dive through that smoke and try to go toward A here. They've got to know that there's 2 players at the bottom of ramp, and that is exactly what they're going to do. Now, clearing out Omnichella is not necessarily going to be easy, but at the very least, they have been able to go 1-for-1 there. So they will get a plan here. That is mission 1, or maybe they won't get a plan here. Drox needed to plan safe, and he decided not to. So in the end, Underground are going to win the pistol, and they'll deny the bomb plan as well.
Great start for them, especially with how rough Dust 2 started off. They definitely could benefit from a bit more of a quicker start here. No plan as well, going to deprive Vantage of the chance to go for a force, but it will still be off the back of a multi-frag from Drox, a force nonetheless, with the hero rifle thrown over to Jinx. Would have needed the ace clutch there to close that one out. Which, look, for a player of Drox's caliber, could definitely be seen at this level. Is the mid-fight. Util keeping Vantage at the arm's length for now, but actually Jinx edging the smoke with AK in hand has found that opening pick.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a lackadaisical kind of peek from Omnichella, not expecting an AK. Then your head gets banged off. You go, oh, well, wasn't expecting that. Do just have the one player with the armor, though, that being obviously Jinx, so can't really ferry that AK across to another armored player. So he's going to keep it in his hands and see if he can maybe trade down Jinxie right here, who is going to drop to Raleigh. Trying to bait them in, and they've done a pretty good job of it so far. Jinx gets away with a lot of damage from that AK. About 2.5 kills. You'll definitely take it, though I'm not sure that it's going to be converted into a round necessarily. Super elsewhere somehow has come up with an M4, so there's more problems floating around for Underground.
No armor for him, though. Aim punch is a pretty annoying factor here. He has pushed Coops off the line for now. Mechanical re-aggressing in towards Owner, punished by a clock. Night Raid able to trade that messily. And this round is really hanging by a thread right now.
Bomb's going A.
Moving back across to A. Super's still got the middle of the map cut in half right now, so things are still dicey for Underground.
Oh, they've got to know he's here. Oh, how is he going to get away from here? He's not. He's going to try and fight, and he does pretty well to get himself a 1-for-1. Drox, he doesn't really have too many options here. Night Raid pretty much knows this is going to be A, based on the movements there of Super, but Drox has actually been able to sneak out, and he will be able to plant. That has been heard by Night Raid. But either way, this has been a successful round so far for Vantage, and it could get even worse for Underground if somehow Night Raid does not win this duel. Luckily for Underground, he will seal the deal and take it to 2, but bomb plant and 4 guns taken away. You're going to be pretty happy with that as Vantage.
Absolutely. Big damage done to the CT economy, only 1 rifle taken through, so good chance to go for a reset early on here in round number 3 for Vantage. Even Drox, who did drop the AK over and spend all of his money, still able to drop across a Galil. So the buy did not suffer at all for the T side, and they got very significant damage done here. Orp's going to be there for Night Raid, though. And he really needs to make use of that, right? We're down to 3 MP9s. We've got good util, but we've sacrificed a lot of firepower. So a pick on the CT side with the Orb could be huge early on.
Omi. Pop flash for himself back out into middle there. Not going to cause too many problems for Vantage. So he'll have to cede control of it, go back through that donut smoke to the relative safety of his position. Meanwhile, Mechanical with a bit of a push down the ramp. Oh, finds timing on Migobi, but will be saved by Drox, who once again has been able to double down. He was a key factor in that first map, as we identified on the stats earlier. It looks like he's going to be a key factor here for the second map as well.
Underground sweating bullets right now, on the verge of having their economy reset. It's getting to the point where you might just be saving as the util comes into B. The A site is pretty much open for business unless Omnichella can go absolutely massive, and he lines up 2. But Jinx able to readjust quickly enough, and that'll almost certainly be a save for the CTs.
I don't know if they're going to be allowed to save both these guns. Jinxie definitely having a bit of a look. He spotted both out. He's a little scared of the AWP on this line, so just tentative to peek until his teammates start to work their way in as well. But this is a massive hunt coming through for Vantage, and I don't know that Underground's going to get away with it. They've got all the avenues closed off.
It's not worth it for the T's even, really. If they lose 2 or 3 guns here, it's just as inconvenient for them. It'd be great to take the AWP away, but at the end of the day, this early on in the game, just as good to just play things by the numbers and build up your T-side money, so I don't mind that at all, to be honest, from Vantage. And they put themselves in the game state that they would have desired with that hero AK purchase from Drox. Really made a big dent in the economy, and you see the spoils of their labor here. For Underground, they have been forced to buy up around the AWP MP9, so an even worse buy with worse utility than in the last round. So we're begging for an AWP pick to try to even up the odds here in the early to mid round. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult for them to make this one work. And I actually really like this for Vantage, just running a 1-4, little bit of util and 1 player pressuring towards lane, and they're going to go for an A execute. But there's already numbers here for the CT side and a boost.
Util's going over the top. Rotate maybe a little more tough here for Omnichella, but you got the 2 players on that bomb site that can delay. Nice volley timing. Maybe it went a little bit too deep though, Vantage. They just slide straight past it. Night Raid has to get himself 2. I don't know that that's enough. Super attempts the spray transfer, but the job is more or less done by Vantage anyway, and Jinxie has Night Raid completely locked into Donut. There's nowhere for him to go, and they know exactly where he is, so it's pretty much a dead man walking.
Yeah, Jinxie's done a fantastic job there on the lurk, keeping the rotations honest. He's found 2 kills on lane, and he's keeping Night Raid pegged into Donut. Not much he can do, stuck in between a rock and a hard place, and no one's giving him anything. He'll be lucky to make it out alive with the AWP.
He will not be making it out. Oh, maybe he will be making it out. I don't know how he's hit that. He is going to make it out. He's not going to make it out. There's no way. He's not. He is. He's not. He is. What have I just watched? That was an emotional roller coaster.
Some of the most entertaining exit frags you'll see in a while. And he has made it out.
Somehow.
You love it when the homies make it out, you know? Been backing him for a while. Unfortunately, his version of making it out is slowly losing on the CT side of Ancient because this AWP is not having any impact in the early to mid round. I mean, he got a nice multi-frag on the A side of things, but A side after plant with pistols and MP9s is not going to go well for you. Have got a big stack here, but unfortunately Underground has flipped heads and Vantage was going tails in this case. Well and truly just walking into a free site, so really question of damage for the Underground boys. We'll see what they can get done. More exit frags that can boost up night raid stats. We love that. Can make him our player to watch tomorrow.
Yeah. Wait, is there a tomorrow?
I don't know. Is there? I mean, you got to live like there's no tomorrow, Jordan, you know?
I see. But you're living like there is a tomorrow right now, so... I don't know what your point is. I feel like you've kind of cooked that one a bit. There's a next week. We can make him the next week guy. How about that?
He's kind of my today guy, though, you know?
I see. Well, not getting out this time.
Next week could be anyone. You know, I've got options in that case.
Do ya?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are kind of him now, aren't you? Like, move to Korea. All of a sudden, it's looking up.
Yeah, it's gone all right. It's gone all right. You know, I was just eating some Dak Galbi, having a drink.
Yep.
Just strolled over, load up the ECL. See how long it takes to get a noise complaint to my Airbnb.
Drinking on business. That is unprofessional.
Drinking water.
You're on a business trip. You understand that?
Or Monster.
All right, fair enough. Super. Gets himself one entry, but no more than that. The flashes seemed to be a little bit of a problem for him.
Yeah. Hard to shoot when you can't see. Happens to the best of us. Contact up B here, off angle from Raleigh was good, but unfortunately Drox was a little better.
Well, bomb plan's going to go down, so even when it ain't going perfect, it's still going well for Vantage. And the molly to stop any attempt at a retake through from Cave is going to force them into Mingovi, and the flash was great. So he's down. Back to 3-on-2. Jinxie can't draw the numbers back at all. The time's starting to tick. Vantage with that advantage at least. Here comes the push though. Up ramp. Jinxie can't quite get both. It's onto Jinx solo. And Mechanical will find him, but the spray down is so good. He's the 1 HP wonder. Vantage 4-2. They win another.
Winning all the clutches. It's how they got across the line on Dust 2, and they're continuing to be delivered here on Ancient, and we're back to regular scheduled first half programming, aren't we, Jordan? After losing that pistol, all the damage done, instant reset on the CT money, and we're away we go on the T side. Vantage is back, just dominating.
Yeah, money's broken. They do have Deagles. Deagle's good.
Can be, can be.
Spaghetti.
Maybe not this time. 5-7?
Not.
5-7 good? No, I don't think anyone's good there. Maybe Drox is keen for another Eco 4K. He's been kind of farming the anti-Eco kills this game.
Yeah, Jinx going to have a bit of a look here into Cave as well, and it's pretty well done so far from Vantage. Losing a bit of HP here and there, but not really looking like they're going to have too many troubles. Drox is just bouncing around with his knife out. He was like 20 HP. Madness. 5-2 though. All's well that ends well.
Yeah, it's really up to Underground to once again step up. Like, you know, Vantage is throwing it down right now. All's back out for Night Raid. We've got a little bit of utility on the CT side this time around. So we can control middle, we can pressure over towards lane, do all the good things. Maybe do a big ramp take, Jordan. What do you think of that, buddy?
I think that'd be great.
They're not going to do it, though. They don't think that'll be great. Going to put out the molly. Maybe
That's
kick
huge.
off a B execute. Change up the pace, buddy.
Oh, it's a fast B execute. Look at all that util flying over onto the B bomb site. In fact, there's not a whole lot of it, actually. It was just a lot of flashes, really. And no smoke on short is going to be a bit of a problem. Long side as well. Jinx able to double down, but that's about it. Mingovi. Oh, he's got 2 as well. And the other guy's over on A. So he can plant.
It's such a good B flood, and then I don't even know where it all fell apart. Just feels like any player on Vantage can come up with a couple of kills. No kit for Night Raid, but the plant hasn't gone down. Mingovi feels like he's got someone flooding over like the rest of the team was, but Night Raid's been taking his time. He was on A duty, just playing retake. So Mingovi, he's going to try and big brain this one. He's going to slow it down, work his way back towards shelf, back towards middle, clear out mid, maybe
himself?
find a timing, or into cave. Man, these
Show us his gun.
these new inspect animations are kind of crazy. What is that? What is that sticker, Jordan? Help.
I can't read it. I'm trying to read it, but the gun keeps moving. I think it's Blitz. I think it's an IHC Blitz sticker.
Oh, respect. Man knows his game. Hello.
Has he been
See you later.
seen, though? He's going to get a plant. Nade's going to hurt. But it's also going to give away Night Raid's position. So all it takes is one headshot here from Mingovi, but he doesn't get to shoot. Anticlimax.
Good old left
Blitz
eye,
can't
right
save you
eye.
here, buddy.
There you go, Night Raid. He hit a shot that won a round rather than getting some exits. And that's huge. But look, nice teabagging and everything, but at the end of the day, the biggest teabag has been done to the CT economy, really, hasn't it? Because they are pretty brokies. Vantage have got tons of cash. They're just going to keep buying. Porous players got 2.3k, so another buy round's coming in straight after this one, especially if they get a bomb plan. So Underground is just resettable. They're doing that classic CT dance. One round away from being broke.
Well, run it back into middle. Underground going to get that for free. Vantage a little bit more interested in lane this time around. Nade opened the smoke towards Cheetah. Gives Drox a little bit of a look in there, but not enough to actually spot Mechanical. However, they have a sneaking suspicion there might be somebody nearby.
Molly into cave, trying to keep him locked in. He doesn't drop another smoke onto the entrance. Does just to try and keep himself alive. The timing on it was not great, but he's still at least been able to get one out of that pretty sticky situation. And Riley just dry pushes back in. What a madman. Just retakes that control.
Around middle and on the A side of the map, though, as on the spot super out. A side starting to get a little bit worried. Super, assisted by the flash, will take the fight to Omi, and this guy just don't miss.
He doesn't. He's been warming up a little. Plant goes in. Man advantage for Vantage. Underground a little out of position, to be perfectly honest with you, and those flashes over the top are fancy, but they don't set anyone up to actually take a peek.
Ovi waiting unnecessarily because Super has got it all locked down. Eventually that swing's going to have to come through. A little bit messy now from Vantage as the smoke in the donut will potentially cause some problems for Drox. Defuse is on, but cancelled. And Raleigh, he's not going to be able to get there in time. He has no defuse kit, and it's another round lost for Underground.
He had no money, Jordan. Don't be hard on
money.
the young man. No money. So he did his best. Good retake attempt. Unfortunately, Underground is broke again. Going to try to scrape together whatever they can. I don't know if they're going to have money for an orb unless Night Ray wants to glass cannon this round. Buy coming through for Vantage once again. Not lacking anything. They had enough of a windfall previously to recover from any guns lost. There's the mid-contest. Flashes up through. Smoke's been blown open. Omichella's kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place. In towards Cubby, being backed up a little bit by Donut, but there's not really much you can do with the MP9 there.
Night Raid. Little freebie for him. Shelf dirty. Coops taking the fight. Mid is absolutely cooked there for Vantage. Needed a little bit more presence on lane perhaps, but Jinx is able to at least peg one back. Now we'll see if Jinxie can activate, but he's going to check the wrong angle and will be put to bed. Good night.
Yeah, Jinx gonna take a nap as well. Smoke being refreshed bottom middle, not too much he could do. Bomb dropped in the open. And the 3 CTs well and truly set up around it. Coops is pretty low. Gonna wrap back around towards lane side, see if he can catch Raleigh off, who I think is not visible to him. I think he's playing that little cheeky angle behind the cheater entrance there. Yeah. So he's tucked nice and safe.
Still could get one, maybe two. Easy one onto Coops, but no more than that. So fair enough.
There's some pretty sharp
Well,
shooting
that's exactly
from Coops
the
on
way
the
that-
MP9 that round, man. A lot of dinkage.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one a bit more back and forth, a little closer than Dust2 was.
Yeah. Little hero AK buyout here for Vantage, though, could spell some trouble. Another round right now. 2.4k loss bonus for Underground. If Vantage were to able to pick this round up, then we might actually be lining up for an 8-4 still.
Yeah. We want to make sure we've got enough guns coming into this next round, though. And Jinxie's looking to make sure that that doesn't happen. Progression smoke to the top side of B ramp. Jump spot might have seen the T there. Raleigh and Mechanical need to respond to this dry pressure. It's actually just Jinxie peering over the top of the prog smoke.
Well, Mechanical getting away with some shenanigans. The MP9, bit of mobility there for him, back and forth, doing some dirty work, and Night Raid's hit a shot with the AWP as well. So whatever Vantage was trying to achieve in this round seems to be wishful thinking.
3 on 5. Any guns that they can take away before the last round would take a little bit of CT utility away, or maybe a rifle or two. They can get it. Drox has picked up the AK, a little bit of chip damage with the Deeg. Now the lane peak being considered by Drox, but instead going to wrap back towards cave side. Look if they can hit a shot or two on B and try to get into an after plan. It's still doable, realistically. Especially with Drox coming up ramp side now.
Have to hit an absolute banger of a shot to get this entry. And won't be able to. So Mechanical going to deny any chance into the round for Super. And that's exactly what Underground was looking for. They can definitely fight for the 6-6 now.
Absolutely. Even upgrade that MP9 to something a little bit better. Max util. They'll be happy with that. Vantage are actually the ones missing a couple of key grenades, which Ancient T side is going to be actually pretty annoying. I wouldn't be... I'm pretty surprised they're not going down to an extra Galil or so, get an extra set of util, because they can't really trade util down on shelf or maybe go for a mid retake, or they won't really have much left over for the mid to late round. I think Drox is the one who's actually opted to go down to the Galil a little bit later. And they will run a little bit more of a prolonged round. They've had to invest a lot of mollies and flashes just to be able to try to get Drox up into cave. And he has made it there. Now that he has 4 smokes and a flash to get through the mid to late round, and they're still spread around the map, so would really like to just see Vantage regroup and try to keep things simple here.
Right now, they're just going to wait for a push. That may further incentivize Vantage to stay waiting. You know, a deep smoke like that, you might think, okay, there's a push coming down the ramp potentially, and they will be correct in that assumption. It is Jinxie with the bomb watching that angle. This could get pretty awkward pretty quickly. They line up for him, but he's only able to get one. In fact, he didn't. He got an assist instead. It was a team kill. Either way, bomb's been spotted. 1 for 1. Vantage aren't necessarily going to be too mad about that.
Yeah, Vantage regrouping, trying to keep things simple. There's a double aggression. Wanting to crossfire over cave side. I'm not sure if the barrel was spotted out or not, but this could really cut the push in half if the CTs are successful here.
Yeah, I don't like this for Vantage. This is a tough one to break. Nigh impossible, really. Super going to have a crack of his own. Now it's down to the ramp players to hit some pretty nasty entries. Night Raid, he is tagged down low. Getting this bomb plant is the first piece of the puzzle, but now you have to actually start to be aware of this ramp rotation, which they are. Nice kill from Jinx. It's back to 2 on 2 with Nightmare low. This is doable. Mingovi gets the trade, but luckily Omichella is there to save the day for Underground, and they will get themselves all the way up to that 6th. So, as you've said, a little bit of a tighter map here on Ancient as we end the first half at an even scoreline.
Keep rising from the bottom, 'cause when the sun comes up and I look around, I can feel that love, I can hear that sound. They're never gonna hold me down, I'm higher than the ceiling now, and then I need to worry about, 'cause I got no problems, I know it's gonna be alright, it's getting better every time, nobody's gonna kill my vibe, 'cause I got no problems. Yes, every day was a war. Yeah, it kinda took a while. When they tell me I should stay, I just jump with a smile. Yeah, it's hard until you notice. Everybody's got their moment. When the sun comes up and I look around, I can feel that love, I can hear the sound. Listen up. They're never gonna hold me down, I'm higher than the ceiling now, and then I need to worry about, 'cause I got no problems, I know it's gonna be alright, it's getting better every time, nobody's gonna kill my vibe, 'cause I got no problems. 'Cause I got no problems. 'Cause I got no problems. Do you feel a little down? Say it, no problems. Let you in, but you out. Sing it, no problems. They're never gonna hold me down, I'm higher than the ceiling now, had none I need to worry about, 'cause I got no problems. They're never gonna hold me down, I'm higher than the ceiling now, and none I need to worry about, 'cause I got no problems, I know it's gonna be alright, it's getting better every time, nobody's gonna kill my vibe, 'cause I got no problems.
So second half, 6-6 the scoreline. Things looking a little bit more interesting than they were on Dust 2 at this point in the game. But I feel like the second half of Dust 2 is going to be hard to beat.
Oh, for sure. Really could go either way as far as I'm concerned. Both of these teams have been super streaky tonight. Underground with a very quick B play into 4 players could go wrong.
Yeah, Mechanical cleaning up for some entry frags, and he's not going to get the chance. Super is doing super things. They'll be helped out by Drox and Mingovi. That ramp play just a bit too one-dimensional, and Vantage says, no, thank you very much. We've got the aim to deal with that, and the stack to do so as well.
Yeah, Molly missing Pillar as well. Don't think really would have changed much, but still might be the 3rd or the 4th Molly we've seen miss today. So Underground not with the start that they would have wanted. I feel like Vantage had a pretty good read on what they were going to do. Not sure if that's a pistol they've used in previous Ancient games or something. But ends up working out beautifully for Vantage. Looks like Underground just going to try to go for a bit of a Hail Mary. Ooh, HE might catch a couple of players. How much farming can Mingovi do on the MP9? He's done pretty well there. Only 1 player surviving, so no bomb plant for Underground. And Vantage 4 alive with only an MP9 lost heading into the bonus here for themselves. They're going to be very happy.
You'll definitely be taking that one. Bonus round indeed. So kind of a must-win for Underground, the way things are looking. Don't want to be letting Vantage get any further advantages starting the second half up on the CT side. It'll be a lot of util usage from Vantage to start this round and prevent Underground from making their way out middle. They're going to go for the late mid-tape. Super there waiting through the flash. He gets a lot of damage done, and Jinx will clean up where he left off. Just about gets out alive there as well, which is a nice result for Vantage so far.
See if they can keep it converted. Mechanical says no, but aggression through Red Room does trade that kill at least. Bomb is still in no man's land right now, and this play is very split between Underground. Riley hasn't really got a chance to get involved in the round. He's actually going to fall back and go for the bomb. I think Drux might be able to hear those footsteps. Night Raid as well, waiting for more aggression from the CT side inside of Temple here.
Nice setup though, and they get the 1-for-1. Drux is going to be aware of that push, and he'll win the round. It's the bonus round converted for Vantage. They get the upgrades for the MP9s into AKs, and they are loving life on this CT side.
Looking like it may be another dub tonight for Vantage, which in the grand scheme of things, I mean, we talked about this round robin format before. These kind of games where you're versing a beatable opponent rather than like a top team are the games that you need to lock down and try to 2-0 for yourself, give yourself a much better chance to go into the playoffs.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, again, but it's not just about the playoffs either, Pilski. Again, remember, it's about the VRS points too. And Drox has cleaned up nicely. If you're a Vantage right here, especially considering Vantage is a new roster, so I imagine that they don't have any VRS points right now. You're going to be wanting to start nicely and get that ball rolling as soon as you possibly can.
For sure. Underground, on the other hand, have got to kind of go back to, we need to get started on this map on the T side because there just has not been much of anything from them just yet. First gun round is where they need to start getting involved in the game, but they've got to work their way through a pretty massive CT economy at this point. We'll start off with 1-4, contesting Shelf. Omicella left behind. Progression Molotov trying to flush Drox out of cave, and it has done successfully. Or Cheetah, rather. But he seems like he's sticking around. Underarm flash from Jinxie. And a smoke to ramp as the pressure is coming out from Underground. Will be minimized for now, as Mechanical cops a dink.
Drox, oh, he's playing a dangerous game right here. Wasn't aware that Riley was so close, but we'll get out alive. Underground working hard to survive in this round, but they are surviving so far.
Things really slowing down in the mid-round. Underground retake that mid-control. They haven't seen the AWP yet. And that's been posted on this donut info line for a long, long time now. And it's going to be worth its weight in gold.
Shadow.
Nice opening pick for Vantage. Only 50 seconds to complete a mid-A. And they haven't even got control of that A flank yet. Nice little boost up over the top as well. Jinx may be unchecked in a position like this as time dwindles low.
Mingovi setting himself up on yet another line. And think he should be getting one here. We'll just miss that one, but has a chance for another. There's going to be a push out on either side. And Jinx deals with the main push very nicely. It's just Coops now. 25 seconds left. He's spotted out that player in CT spawn. Jinxie's not giving him anything. He knows this is all about the time for Coops, and with that rotation coming through from Donut, there is no chance at a bomb plant, no chance at a round, and maybe not much of a chance for the half here for Underground now.
Yeah, really running out of steam. No bomb plant is really going to limit what grenades they can bring into this next round, unless they want to go down to Galil's, and even then it'll be somewhat limited, so going to be harder to run those T-side protocols. And if you half buy, you're conceding map point. So, look, they're going to go for the devil they know. Half buy to try to give themselves an outside shot at winning the round, doing some damage to the CT economy and playing the long game, but that's going to require 6 in a row just to steal OT. Unless they can pull off a bit of an upset with an A execute. And look, realistically, with this mid take, They could isolate Mechanical, but if Underground could get into some deep positions on an A after plant, maybe even catch his Donut player off, could still be doable.
Decent start for Underground. He'll take it. Super under a bit of pressure here. Players pushing him through the incent.
Nice.
And he can only grab one. That said, rotation's now starting to come through from Vantage, and it is looking a little bit better. They got the util to block off Donut. They do. They've got a smoke and a flash, so could just be smoke up Donut, sit that defuse. Waiting perhaps for Drox to make a bit of a move here in middle. That smoke, though, is really causing problems. And Mingovi, right on the line, is going to lose a lot of his HP to Night Raid. This really is starting to get messy for Vantage, but Drox's timing is key. It's critical. He gets himself a freebie, but I don't know if they're going to get the defuse right here. Mingovi has the trade, but he doesn't have a kit.
No kit.
No time for the defuse. He's probably dead as well.
Nice.
It's gone wrong for Vantage.
Exactly what Underground needed. Only on the half-play, giving themselves an outside shot at winning a round, taking all of the guns away from the CTs. Avoiding that map point without reducing their chance of putting a buy together in the next. That's really nicely done. It's a bit of a lifeline into this, series as as it goes. 2 best of ones, but makes Ancient now very winnable. It's bankrupted the CTs. They've only got 1900 loss bonus, so this could be a huge swing round to make this game very winnable for Underground.
Super. Nice start. Gets Mechanical. And not quite aware of the possibility of that boost over the top. So we'll end up losing his life and giving up the numbers. Riley as well. Out on the shelf. A little unexpected. There's another potential unexpected push happening right here, and that is Drox back onto lane. Night Raid's waiting for it, but wasn't really 100% ready. I think he might have been watching the other side. Omichella will get the trade for that, but he himself, potential to get traded down there. Jinxie spotted him out. I think he's aware, though.
Yeah, bomb was dropped behind the crates there, so Jinxie is trying to hang around, make them pay for it. Does a lot of damage to Coops. Good pick from Mingovi, but now they know where he is in this 2-on-1. He's going to pick himself up a rifle. That makes this a lot more winnable. He's copped a bit of a nade there, so down to 60. As the plant goes down nice and open, Coops and Greg King just going to slink in towards that backside. Play together. Mingovi nading ramp. He's just going to save the ult.
Yeah. I think if that nade would have got something, he might have been keen to go for it, but
he has no kit as well. Unless there was one dropped in middle, then yeah, that's going to make it very difficult to win that clutch, especially with the open plant. So instead, he's just going to post up ramp side and see if he can catch any exits here. But another great round from Underground. Another really good reply after not a great start. You know, they lost that pick in middle. Nice little tower boost over the top. Trades the kill back, and then they creep through the shelf smoke. Gives them 4-on-3 from what was a 5-on-4 initially. Or 4-on-5 rather. They pegged 2 kills back really nicely. So showing some really good resilience right now, Underground. Not only on the half-by round, but also in that gun round, which didn't start the way they would have wanted. And now what do for the CT side? Because the money is a bit all over the place. They saved it all, but 3 of them are broke. So this is that reset round that Underground was looking for, right? This game is very winnable for them now.
See what Mingovi has to say about that. Bit of a push out A main here. Night Raid somewhat keeping an eye on things, but Deagles, once they get into this kind of range, can definitely get the work done. Drox has now been spotted. I don't think he saw Night Raid somehow. So that'll be the Deagle gone. Mingovi, however, is set up close, and that was the unexpected player that was able to make the difference. Bomb dropped for a second. It'll be pretty retrievable, you'd think, for Underground, but they will lose a player for their trouble. Mingovi goes for the swing again. He kind of had to. Now it's Jinxie's turn, and he'll drop 2. So Underground making it close once more.
So buy going to be coming together now for Vantage. Underground slowly but surely working their way into this game. Another chance at a CT reset with only 2.9 loss bonus. unless they save a couple of rifles over, but even then that would be pretty big util disadvantage to be going for. Deep smoke down towards ramp. The Vantage go for some aggression on that ramp control. They're going to shut the T's out of middle, or at least attempt to. And as Underground trying to break through those smokes without good enough flash timing over the top, they're made to pay for it. Drox does go down, though, in towards Cheetah. Says it was a spam kill through the smoke. That's great spam damage from Jinx there. So definitely a lot of back and forth in middle this round, and still a couple of timings in the mid round that could go either which way.
Riley going to be patient. Maybe rewarded for his patience. We'll see what Super ends up doing here, but it does look like he wants to re-aggress in the middle alongside Jinx. And that's exactly what he was waiting for. A site should be pretty straightforward to take now for Underground. So even though the numbers have been brought back to even, you'll consider that a win overall for the T side.
Yeah, site secured. But without the plant on a decent timing, gives a lot of this time for the CTs to re-aggress, reposition. Unfortunately, that hasn't worked out well for them, and it's looking like it's once again saved territory for Mingovi, who does not have a kit. And Underground putting the pieces together again in a 3-on-3. Really, really good stuff. Especially getting the better end of the timings in middle. Able to read the mid round nicely, get themselves a nice open A site for free. And like I said, this will be another round where Vantage has only got 2.9k around an orb, so it's probably just going to be pistols and armor around the AWP, and Underground will have an easier chance at trying to even this up 11-11. I mean, it's a nice exit, but with the state of the T-side economy, they just don't really care about losing that gun right now.
Orb in hand here for Mingovi once again. Gonna have to come up with the goods, but it's starting to look pretty grim for Vantage. And Mingovi's on the wrong side of the map to make an impact, so Super gonna have a crack with the deagle, and he's also importantly gonna get the information. But no killing blow. Still keeps this quite safely in the hands of Underground at the moment.
Yeah, with Underground slowing things down, though, it's giving a lot of time for Vantage to actually stack over to the correct site. Orbs rotated into Donut could be a pretty huge problem for the T's. They're going to contest Red Room, though, into the 5-7 of Jinxie. So there's little snags they can slip up on either which way.
Ooh, this is one of those snags, and it's just not quite going to come through for Jinxie. Needed the headshot there with that 5-7. Not going to get it, but 3 players stacked over towards A. And Omichella is going to go down to Mingovi, but that is not enough just yet for Vantage to feel safe. In fact, for Underground, it'll probably be enough to say, okay, this is our round.
So 11 apiece. Don't even know if they'll be able to bring the orb through in this case. Just playing for exits. Where's Night Raider? I mean, he's over towards Donut, probably just going to exit in CT spawn. Coops is really the only player they could catch on the exit, but even he's exiting towards T spawn, so doesn't look like Vantage hanging around will be able to even find themselves any AKs at the end of that one. Just for the one-shot potential, not even for the buy in the next round. Big comeback from Underground here.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be so painful if the same thing happened where they get so close and then Vantage just kind of like takes it at the 11th hour? It's very much a possibility once again here on Ancient. If Vantage just win this round, you know, you could have 2 very close maps, but both of them going the way of Vantage.
Sure. Mid control taken by the CTs. CTs, just a light contest, but not feeling confident enough to pull the trigger. Taking a lot more of a slower approach into this early round, letting the CTs burn through a lot of their util before they decide what to do. There's the mid take. Smoke to red room, molly into cubby, flashes up over the top. Mingovi blowing open the smoke, looking for a pick, and he's going to find it too. Really, really well worked.
Yeah, Drox waiting patiently here in cave, but this is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back for Underground, I do wonder.
Nice timing on the smoke. Crossfire inside of cave. This is going bad to worse.
Flash. Be not quite enough, and this is definitely falling apart for Underground. Surely not again, not like this. It's painful. I mean, the silver lining is they do have enough money to buy into this next round and fight for it, but a 13-11 would be a heartbreaker for Underground.
Yeah, I mean, that round wasn't even close. Great early pick from Mingovi and a perfect setup. Really well timed utility on that B site. Couldn't have done it better. I feel like Underground have had a lot more success and gotten into a lot more afterplants towards A. So it's a bit curious to me that they're leaning back towards the less successful side of the map as the game has gotten much closer. Once again, big contest on shelf. Lots of CT utility aggression down the bottom side. And the first pick's going to go the way of Vantage again here.
Oh, Drox. That are mechanical, and this is just falling into place for Vantage. Underground, you've got to be feeling so bad right now, but that is it. 13-11. Vantage are going to toot to him once again. Another attempt at a comeback, but it is not going to be enough tonight for Underground, as Vantage will take both the best of ones, essentially taking that 2-0 and starting their campaign here in ESL Challenger League Season 49 on the right foot.
Yeah, got themselves a Hawk 2-0. You know, as do you like that one? Is that a good one? I don't know.
I did.
Yeah, I could tell. By the tone of your voice. Unfortunately, can't see your beautiful face. I'm sure you got a big smile because you thought that was really funny.
Oh yeah,
yeah. That's what Vantage we're looking for tonight. Underground. It is a very frustrating night, but maybe a much needed night of development, as you often do get here in Challenger League, right? Yeah. Learn some hard lessons in a bit more of a low-stakes environment, and use those to improve yourself and come back better next time. But I think for Vantage, this, as we've said a couple of times tonight, needed to be the 2-0 in the middle of the table that could kind of put you in playoffs or maybe exclude you from playoffs later down the line. Once you get a lot deeper into the season, these are the games that you need to put away.
Yeah, most definitely. And it's already like, you know, you're this early into the season, you're looking at Underground and you're seeing the games that they've played, and obviously a 1-1 yesterday night against Justice for Tomorrow, which is another sort of fresher face here into the season after qualifying through from ESEA Open. That's probably not the result that you would want. Obviously, if it's a new team coming in and playing this level, you probably want a 2-0 up against those guys. They didn't get that. Now they've obviously dropped 0-2 against Vantage. Like the season, look, it's not over, obviously, for Underground, but it's definitely not a great start. We'll take a look at the player to watch and the stats for that last game, which, if I remember rightly, was Night Raid, and he didn't have such a bad night here, to be honest. I mean, 32-31, but it wasn't like the standout Night Raid performance that we needed to see tonight to get over the line against Vantage.
No, definitely not. We know that he's a player in the past on this level of competition that can have these hard carry performances. I've seen him put up 40 in one map, so I think, look, 30 across two maps is maybe, you know, not a bad performance by any stretch of the imagination, but we talk about him as a player with a very high ceiling, and at this level of competition, you know, one player can put you over the top and win you the whole series or a whole map. Take a look at the overall group, the overall standings, and have a look at how things have finished out. Looks like Rooster are continuing to do well for themselves, and Vantage 2-0 doing good things. That's where they'd want to be sitting.
Yeah, Rooster 3-0 is a solid spot to be in. Looks like their game right now against Mantra has gone OT on Anubis, which is taking me back a little bit to last season. I remember Rooster playing a lot of games of Anubis, and some of them didn't quite go so well. But yeah, I think Rooster's definitely an interesting team to watch this season with the new addition of DPR and obviously Slimy as well, still kind of working his way into that roster. But I'm still kind of like, jury's out, obviously. I want to see what Mind Freak looks like. I want to see what Talon looks like, especially. I want to see what House Bets looks like as well with PZ. I think there's a lot to kind of break down and talk about when it comes to this season of ESL Challenger League in Oceania. Most particularly because of the fact that Falcon's FlyQuest's not here. So it will be very interesting to see how this season actually plays out. I think I'm a little bit more like keen to see how some of the middle of the pack teams do this season, because it didn't really feel like it mattered last season, but this season it feels like it does kind of matter with that slot open, obviously, for ESL Pro League that is now not guaranteed to go to FlyQuest, more or less, and also the points, the VRS points, is always going to be a conversation. So I think there's a lot of cool stuff happening this season.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see how it does develop, but I think that's going to be it for us tonight. Regardless, we will be back in a little bit with some Asia games, so some more spice for you. I think we might even be having some Tai Lu as well. So if you're a big fan of the Chinese CS, then come back and tune in a little bit. But at least for ECL Season 49 of Oceania, that's going to be it for us tonight, and we'll see you in a bit for Asia.
Think you've seen it all? With Faceit Watch's Point of View Selector, you can experience the game from any pro's perspective. Use the multi-view feature and customize the stream with up to 4 angles. Control what points you see while earning rewards. Drops are activated and lucky winners will receive Faceit points. And if you ever miss a match, VODs are now available. Get instant access to demos with multiple POVs and commentary. Watch it, control it, Faceit.